What's going on, everybody? Well, Raw was live on Netflix last night, and it was an historical evening. Let's break down everything that happened. So the show kicked off with an amazing video package. If you haven't seen it, you can go on all the WWE socials. It was voiced over by Triple H, Paul Levesque. Very well done. Showed kind of the history of the business, how it transcended, through like carnivals and then went to TV, and then it boomed in like the 80s and 90s. It was very well done, very good production from the WWE creative staff. I thought it was very, very nice, and yeah, like I said, if you need to check it out if you can. Go to like any of the WWE socials and take a look at it. It was really, really well done. Then after that, the show kicked off with Triple H being in the ring. Basically welcome everyone to the Netflix era, and that was how the show started. And then The Rock came out, and The Rock was in boss mode, but not the final boss. He was the TKO boss. He came out, and it was different than what we saw from The Rock previously. He was beating up Cody Rhodes and getting involved in the story at WrestleMania 40, and he was out there just thanking the Netflix executives and thanking Cody Rhodes for being the quarterback of the WWE for the last year, and then thanking Roman Reigns and saying he was going to win back the Ula Fala later in the evening against Solo Sikoa. So it was definitely different than what we saw from The Rock the last time. The Rock last time was a heel, and this time he just was corporate Dwayne basically. So will that change going down the line? I think so. I think The Rock will be involved at WrestleMania in some capacity. Probably a match against Roman. That's what it looks like to me, but we'll see what happens. But again, last time we saw The Rock, he was the final boss, and then last time he was just the boss. So, all right. So the first match of the evening was Roman Reigns versus Solo Sikoa for the Ula Fala and the True Tribal Chief. That match kicked off Monday Night Raw last night, and it was a great back and forth match. I think the story with the Bloodline has been the most captivating thing in professional wrestling for the last couple of years. And this felt like the culmination of everything, because it was the old tribal chief, the original tribal chief, Roman Reigns, taking on the new tribal chief in Solo Sikoa. And last night it was a back and forth contest, tribal combat, so anything could happen. And for the most part, it was just Solo and Roman going one-on-one. But then, the tribal combat antics got involved. Tama Tonga and Jacob Fatu came out to help Solo Sikoa kind of get the upper hand. And then Sami Zayn and Jimmy Uso came to even the odds. And then, they took out Jacob and Tama to get them to the back, and then Kevin Owens came out, tried to take out Roman, and then of course Cody Rhodes, who was battling Kevin Owens at the Royal Rumble, came out to help out Roman, so to speak. I guess he more wanted to take out Kevin than help Roman. He got rid of Kevin, and then at the end of the day, Roman hit a spear and was able to defeat Solo Sikoa and retain the Ula Fala, the thing he should have had. He never should have lost. It was basically honestly his to begin with. It was given to him, and he's now the tribal chief again. And then you thought Paul Heyman was going to give it to him, and he's about to, and then you see The Rock come out from the back, and The Rock presents it to Roman. You may be thinking when you're watching it, something's going to happen between Roman and The Rock. Not on this night. It could happen potentially down the road, but last night it was just business as usual. The Rock presented his cousin Roman Reigns with the Ula Fala, and Roman Reigns is now the tribal chief yet again. So a really good start to Raw. I thought that was a really good match to start off with. That's the kind of matches I like. It's a lot of fun, a lot of antics. Like, it felt like Attitude Era, like run-ins and stuff like that. So it was a good start to the night for me, and it was a good start for the Raw on Netflix last night. So after that, John Cena came out to the crowd erupted, of course, for the legendary John Cena. And he came out there, basically talked about his journey, he's been on for the last 20 plus years. And he was basically saying, like, people want him to break the record and win his 17th world championship. And he was like saying, no, that's impossible. It's not going to happen. But then he said, well, in WWE, nothing's impossible. And then he had a look in his eye, and he was like saying, maybe I can do something at, Money in the Bank or Elimination Chamber or the Royal Rumble. And the wheel started turning in his head. He said, you know what? Why not? He is entering the Royal Rumble, and he said he's going to win the Royal Rumble. Now, I'll be there live at the Royal Rumble. I'm excited to go. I've never been to the Royal Rumble before. It's probably my favorite event. I've always wanted to go, and luckily I'm able to attend it this year in Indianapolis. So it should be a lot of fun. Seeing John Cena at his last Royal Rumble should be a blast. And yeah, I'll probably make my picks for who I think is going to win the Rumble down the line. But right now, I'll say I think John Cena will win the 2025 Royal Rumble and go to WrestleMania. It should be exciting to see that. And you know, as much as John's been on again, off again, on again, off again, this is it for him. This is his last ride. So the farewell tour starts, and we're all gonna have to just see what happens, and we're all along for the ride with him, because this is it for him. Now, we've seen the promo packages the last couple of weeks, and we weren't sure. I mean, well, most people were sure, but then it got confirmed last night with the logo on the screen. Penta, yes, Penta from AEW is coming. I think people thought he would sign last night, or be on Netflix last night, because I think they were hinting at a match between the New Day and Rey Mysterio. Remember, I think Rey Mysterio, remember mentioning, I'll have a partner of my choosing or something like that. People thought it'd be Penta. That maybe, I think, got scrapped because nothing happened with that last night. The New Day were on, but they weren't really featured on the telecast. They were on like the backstage segments. And it looks like it got switched now, because during the night, Chad Gable was complaining to Adam Pearce about complaining about what he complains about all the time, not getting enough airtime, I guess. And so he was going to battle a luchador, and Adam Pearce said, I think I got someone for you. So it looks like, I mean, Triple H and the Raw after the talk show after Raw, basically, I mean, you guys can figure it out, right? So it looks like next week it'll be the debut of Penta versus Chad Gable. I don't know what they're going to call him. They might just call him Penta. I don't know if they're going to call him Penta, give him any of his names he's used in the Indies and AEW. They might just call him Penta and make it easier. So he's going to battle next week against Chad Gable, which should be a fantastic match. Chad Gable is a very underrated talent, I believe. Someone that should have won in singles gold at this point, but him and Penta are going to tear it up next week. That should be a fantastic, fantastic match. I'm looking forward to that. That should be really, really fun. Okay, so then the next match was for the women's world title. It was Rhea Ripley versus Liv Morgan. Now, this feud has been going on for so long. I mean, of course, Dom was with Rhea before, and then he was with Liv, and then he was back with Rhea, and now he's with Liv again. It's on again, off again. I guess Dom just follows whoever the champion is, or follows wherever the chicken tenders are. This match, Dom and Raquel threw everything that they could to help Liv win this and retain the title, but no matter what they threw at Raquel, Rhea Ripley, she was ready for it. And the match was good back and forth, but at the end of the day, Rhea Ripley hit not one but two Riptides in a row and pinned Liv Morgan to retain the Women's World Championship. And then Dom tried to reconcile with Rhea, and he tried to give her a hug, and she kicked him right between the goalposts. And probably not a good night for Dirty Dom Mysterio, for sure. Maybe he gets some chicken tendies to help clear his pain down below. But then after Rhea Ripley won the title, The Undertaker came out for a quick second, and he kind of, basically what they call in the business, he gave her the rub, basically. So he kind of gave respect to Rhea Ripley for winning the title. So that's good. Taker didn't say anything. He wasn't the Undertaker, who was the American Badass Undertaker on his bike. So I prefer the regular Undertaker, like the dark looking one, but it's good. It was good to see him anyway. But yeah, interesting, after Rhea Ripley's victory, the Undertaker came out. So that was kind of neat to see him just for a second. I personally would prefer to see Stone Cold last night, but you take what you can get, I guess, in this business, right? The next match was Jey Uso versus Drew McIntyre. Now, of course, Drew McIntyre has vowed to take out everybody in the bloodline, and he's trying to do that one by one. I'll say this much: last night, the crowd for Jey Uso's entrance was insane. It was incredible. Like the drones and everything going on with the crowd. The Dome was fantastic last night. That was really showed off what WWE is capable of production-wise with that match, and it was so good from a visual standpoint to look at that. The match was good back and forth. Drew McIntyre went for a Claymore towards the end of the match, and Jey got out of the way and hit a crucifix for the 1-2-3. So I don't think this feud is over by any means. I think Drew's still vying to take out the bloodline by himself. He may get some help, maybe from a Kevin Owens, maybe somebody else, who knows. But last night, Jey got the upper hand and defeated Drew McIntyre last night on Raw. The one thing that I would mention, that this match was weird, Travis Scott came out. Of course, Travis Scott is the one who sings the theme song for Raw. And he came out with a joint in his hand. Yes, he had a blunt in his hand coming out with him, and luckily Jey Uso didn't partake in it, but that was wild. We are clearly in the Netflix era, for sure. Now, here's the negative. When we almost got near to the end of the show, we were about maybe 30-ish minutes left in the telecast, and Hulk Hogan comes out. And the crowd let him have it. They booed the heck out of him. He was trying to promote his Real American beer. Well, Los Angeles gave him a real welcome, and they booed him. And it showed that, the 80s are over. I mean, again, I saw people say online Hulk Hogan's a pioneer. Hulk Hogan helped build the business and make it what it is. Fair, but that time has passed. There's been a lot of stars in the WWE that have done, tremendous numbers for the company. And Hulk Hogan, yes, he should be respected as far as like what he's done, but as a person, Hulk Hogan is not liked by the WWE fans anymore, and they let him have it last night. So luckily the segment wasn't too long, but Hulk Hogan is not needed and not wanted by the crowd, and WWE fans let WWE know that. And the final match of the evening, the main event, was CM Punk versus Seth Rollins. I'll say this much: that was one of the best Raw matches I've seen in a long time. It was great back and forth, great storytelling, both hitting each other's finishers back and forth. It was just a fantastic match. If you get a chance to see, if you have Netflix, definitely look at that matchup. CM Punk and Seth Rollins tore the house down. I thought that match was really, really well done. But at the end of the day, CM Punk hit a GTS, and then Seth Rollins fell on his shoulders, and then CM Punk hit one more GTS for the pinfall, and CM Punk got the better of Seth Rollins on that night. I don't think this feud is over with yet, but Punk and Rollins had a fantastic match last night, and that was the match of the night for me, of course. And I can't wait to see what happens next with Punk and Rollins. And, of course, next week on Raw should be good, too. Like I said, Penta and Chad Gable. You have Damian Priest versus Finn Balor, and a lot more going on next week. So Netflix is rolling, and WWE is continuing to do great stuff on Monday nights for sure. The positives for me were the matches all really good. I thought like the cameos were really good and the production was very well done. I thought that was from a good standpoint. The production, the matches were good. Everything kind of felt like it worked. The negatives for me, Hulk Hogan, and it was weird. It was a 3-hour show, but it felt rushed in a way. Like there wasn't a lot of people used. Hopefully they use more people going forward. It felt like there's 4 matches and other cameos, but I think they should use more people. And I know Sheamus is wrestling next week. Of course, Chad Gable, Penta, Damian Priest, Braun Breaker needs to be on the card. Of course, Dakota Kai is taking on Lyra Valkyria for the Women's Intercontinental title next week. So they're getting some things involved. Hopefully going down the line, they'll start to flow better with it. But I thought last night was fantastic. WWE did a great job last night in the first show of Netflix, and I can't see what they do next week. So see what happens on Raw next week on Netflix, and keep it here.